My beloved child, in this special season of Thanksgiving, I am inviting you to pause for a moment. Step away from the constant pressure, the endless tasks, and all the worries that have filled your mind. Turn your heart back toward the one who has kept you alive, held you together, and brought you through every storm. Before another anxious thought settles in your mind, I want you to understand how important this moment truly is. Heaven has carefully arranged for you to hear this message right now. This is not an accident. This is not random. There is purpose behind it that goes far beyond what you can see or understand. You have been looking so hard at what you don't have that you have forgotten how much you already do have. The enemy has been distracting you by pointing at the empty places in your life, while real blessings have been standing right beside you, unnoticed and uncelebrated. Today I am adjusting your spiritual eyesight. I am gently changing the way you look at your life, your story, and even yourself. What felt hidden will start to become clear. What you passed by without a thought will begin to shine like treasure. Thanksgiving is not just a holiday on a calendar or a day of food and family. Thanksgiving is a heart posture. It is a way of living that unlocks blessings you cannot access any other way. When gratitude becomes your lifestyle, and not just something you do once in a while, you open the door for what I have been wanting to pour into your life for a long time. Those doors that have stayed shut, even though you have prayed, knocked, and tried again and again, will begin to open when Thanksgiving becomes the key you carry every day. My precious child, let me remind you of how far I have brought you. Think back over your life. Remember the valleys that looked impossible to cross. Somehow you made it through. Remember the mountains that looked too high to climb. Somehow you ended up on top. Remember the storms that looked like they would drown you. Somehow you are still here. None of that was coincidence. None of that was just how things worked out. Every time you survived, I was the one holding you up. Every time you made it through, I was the one rescuing you. Every time you overcame, it was my strength flowing through your weakness. The breath in your lungs right now is a gift you did not buy, earn, or create. The heartbeat in your chest is a miracle repeating again and again every single day, whether you think about it or not. Your eyes reading these words, your mind understanding them, your spirit receiving them. Every one of these is a blessing so constant that you've started to treat them like nothing special. Today, I am opening your eyes again to the wonder inside what you have started calling normal. Think about the people I have placed in your life who love you even though you are not perfect. Think about the hands that helped you when you were too tired or too broken to help yourself. Remember the voices that lifted you up when they could have stayed silent. Remember the prayers that have been whispered over your name by people who cared enough to carry your burdens to my throne. You did not get here by yourself. You are not self-made. You have been supported, carried, and covered more than you know. You are deeply loved more than you have allowed your heart to truly believe. The provision that carried you through the seasons when it looked like there would not be enough did not come out of thin air. Every simple meal that still filled your stomach, every bill that somehow got paid when the numbers did not make sense, every need that was met in ways you never could have planned, these moments were not random luck. They were my fingerprints on your daily life. I have been providing for you so consistently that my care has begun to feel invisible. But invisible does not mean absent. Even when you do not notice, my hand has never stopped working for you. In this season of Thanksgiving, I want you to build an altar of gratitude inside your heart. Not a physical altar, but a place in your spirit where you choose to remember and give thanks. Place every blessing you can think of there, even the ones that seem small. The roof over your head, the clothes you wear every day, the clean water that runs from your faucet, the devices and technology that keep you connected and informed. The freedoms you enjoy without even thinking about them because you've never had them taken away. Each of these is a gift that millions of people around the world are crying out for. What you see as basic life would be a miracle answer to prayer for someone else. But Thanksgiving is not only about listing external blessings. It is also about recognizing what I have done inside you. Thank me for the struggles that built your strength. Thank me for the failures that humbled you and taught you wisdom. Thank me for the rejections that protected you from paths that were not meant for you. Thank me for the delays that kept you from stepping into opportunities too early. What you resented was often my protection. What you questioned was often my provision wearing a disguise. The enemy wants you stuck replaying everything that went wrong so you never notice what went right. He knows that a complaining heart slowly closes like a locked door, shutting out the blessings I am trying to send. He understands that gratitude is a powerful weapon that breaks his plans and weakens his voice in your life. That's why he works so hard to pull your attention toward what you're missing instead of what you've been given, toward problems instead of provision, toward wounds instead of healing. Today, I am breaking the hold of negativity that has been clouding your perspective. The dark lens of complaint you've been looking through is being removed. In its place, I am giving you a lens of thanksgiving that helps you see things as they truly are. You will start to see blessings where you only saw burdens before. You will recognize my provision in places you once labeled not enough. You will discover reasons to praise in situations that used to only produce frustration. Now, let me show you what this season of Thanksgiving means in the spiritual realm. All year long, you have been planting seeds, often without even realizing it. Every act of faith was a seed. Every prayer you prayed when you didn't know how I would answer was a seed. Every act of obedience, especially when it was hard, was a seed. Every moment you chose kindness when it would have been easier to respond with anger or coldness, that too was a seed. These seeds have been growing quietly and unseen in spiritual soil. Roots have been forming where your eyes cannot see. I have been preparing a harvest. Thanksgiving is a harvest season in the spirit. What you have sown in the past months is now moving into a season where it is ready to bear fruit. The steps of faith you took when it was hard are beginning to produce results. The patience you chose when everything in you wanted to rush forward has prepared fields that are now ready to be gathered. Do not let this harvest pass by you. The blessings are ready. Now your hands must be willing to receive them. There is an important principle many overlook. Gratitude multiplies what you gather. When you receive blessings with a thankful heart, you create an atmosphere that attracts more blessing. Abundance moves toward appreciation. Increase gravitates toward gratitude. The same gift, received with a thankful heart, produces more fruit than when it is received with a sense of entitlement or complaint. How you receive what I give affects what you keep and what multiplies in your life. I also want to speak to the areas of your life where Thanksgiving feels almost impossible right now. Maybe your health has been struggling, and being thankful for your body feels fake. Maybe your finances are tight or even collapsing, and thanking me for provision feels painful. Maybe relational breakdowns have left your heart cracked and gratitude for community feels out of reach. I see that tension between what you are going through and what you feel Thanksgiving is supposed to look like. Here is the truth that changes everything. I am not asking you to be thankful for the pain. I am asking you to be thankful in the middle of the pain. These are two very different things. Being thankful for suffering would mean celebrating what hurts you, and I'm not asking you to do that. Being thankful in suffering means that even when everything is hard, you choose to notice and acknowledge the good that is still present. Even on your worst days, there have still been gifts from my hand, breath, life, hope, help, if you had eyes to see them. The prison cell could not silence the praises of Paul and Silas at midnight. The fiery furnace couldn't steal the faith of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The lion's den did not stop Daniel from honoring me with a thankful heart. Throughout history, my servants have learned that Thanksgiving is not built on easy circumstances. It is a decision that creates peace even in difficult ones. When you give thanks in hardship, you are making a powerful declaration. You are declaring to the unseen world that your situation does not control your faith. You are declaring to the enemy that he cannot steal your joy. You are declaring to heaven that you trust my character even when you cannot see what I am doing. This kind of thanksgiving carries a special strength because it goes against what makes sense in the natural world. It moves into the supernatural. Now, let me talk about your family and the people you will gather with in this season. For some of you, family time is not simple. Certain faces bring old memories. Old conversations resurface. Arguments that were never fully healed lie just beneath the surface, waiting for small triggers. The people who should make you feel most at peace sometimes bring up the deepest tension. I see it all, every moment no one else sees, every hurt you have tried to ignore, every tight smile you forced. This season, I am asking you to let go of the offenses you have been keeping stored in your heart. Not because the people who hurt you deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. Unforgiveness ties you to the past and to the very people who wounded you. It keeps you stuck in the same emotional place. Forgiveness is not saying what they did was okay. It is unlocking the chains that have been wrapped around your own soul. Forgiveness is not first a gift to them, it is a gift to you. As you gather with family, whether that's people related by blood or people you've chosen as family, let gratitude guide every interaction. Before criticism comes to your lips, pause and find one thing to appreciate about that person. Before you reopen old arguments, remember at least one moment when that relationship brought you joy. Before you let disappointment shape the whole time together, remember that not everyone has someone to sit with. Many people will spend this season alone, wishing they had exactly what you might be tempted to take for granted. Think also about the table where you will sit. That table is more than furniture. It is a place where my abundance becomes visible and shareable. Every plate of food represents provision that came from my hand through many channels. Every person sitting in a chair represents a relationship that I allowed, arranged, or sustained. The very gathering of people, schedules, resources, and health needed to meet together is a miracle you rarely stop to notice. When you bow your head to pray before you eat, let your words be more than routine or habit. Let that prayer come from a heart that really sees how special these ordinary things are. The main dish, the sides, the desserts, the drinks, none of it appeared by magic. Everything required sun, rain, soil, seed, time, work, transportation, and preparation. Many hands played a part, from the one who grew it to the one who cooked it. Your Thanksgiving recognizes that whole chain of provision. But the food is just a picture of something deeper. Around that table are stories of survival, stories of my faithfulness, stories of prayers answered and promises kept. Each person there has gone through low valleys and high mountains, battles and breakthroughs, loss and restoration. The fact that they are there, sitting at your table, is proof that the battles they faced did not defeat what I was building in them. Celebrate the survivors who sit beside you. Now think about the children among you. Whether they are your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, or the children of friends, they are more than noise and energy running through the house. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. They are gifts of unimaginable value. Each child is a piece of the future I have placed in your present. They are hope in human form. When you look at them, you are looking at some of my promises in process. Take time this season to speak blessing over the children in your life. Don't just tell them what they are doing wrong or what they should fix. Tell them what you appreciate about them. Tell them why they matter. Tell them what you see in them that makes you grateful. Many children hear more correction than encouragement. Let this season be different. Let them hear gratitude spoken over who they already are, not just who they're expected to become. For those who are spending this season without the children they hoped and prayed for because of infertility, loss, distance, or broken relationships, I want to gently touch that pain. Your ache is not hidden from me. Your tears are not ignored in heaven. Your empty arms are seen and honored. In this season where family and children are often the focus, there is still room for your grief. Gratitude and grief can sit side by side. You can thank me for what you have while still honestly crying over what you don't. You do not have to choose one or the other. Now let me talk to you about the financial pressure that often surrounds this time. Expectations about gifts, food, travel, and gatherings can create a heavy weight. You've been looking at what you cannot afford and comparing it to what others seem able to do with ease. The enemy uses this to whisper that you are not enough, that you are failing, that you're behind. He tries to use this season to highlight your lack instead of my sufficiency. Listen to me clearly. I am not measuring your love by the price tags on your gifts. I am not judging your faithfulness by how fancy your table looks. I am not equating your worth with how much you can spend. The most valuable gifts you can give do not require a credit card at all. Your presence is a gift. Your undivided attention is a gift. Your time, your listening ear, your loving words, these are gifts with eternal value. These are the currencies of my kingdom. If money has been tight and you feel anxious about it, I want to replace that anxiety with holy creativity. A simple handwritten note filled with honest, specific appreciation costs nothing but time and care, and it can be treasured for years, long after expensive gadgets break or go out of style. A meal made with love, even from simple ingredients, can feed hearts more deeply than an expensive reservation bought with stress. An afternoon of genuine, distraction-free time with someone who longs for your presence is more meaningful than anything that could sit in a box under a tree. I want you to see gratitude as a daily spiritual discipline, not just a seasonal theme. What I am stirring in your heart right now is not meant to fade when this holiday passes. The thanksgiving I am waking up inside you is meant to become a permanent part of your life, not a guest that visits once a year. Daily gratitude turns life from a constant burden into a place of constant blessing, no matter what is happening around you. Start each morning with intentional thanksgiving. Before you get out of bed, before your phone steals your attention, before the worries of the day try to flood your mind, pause and give thanks. Thank me for the rest you received, even if it wasn't perfect. Thank me for a new day filled with new chances. Thank me for the breath you just took and for every breath that will follow. This kind of morning gratitude sets the tone for the rest of the day. Let Thanksgiving show up in every part of your day. When you eat, thank me. When you arrive safely somewhere, thank me. When someone shows kindness, thank me. When you finish something you thought you couldn't do, thank me. When surprises come, thank me. When expectations are met, thank me. Let gratitude become so natural that it flows from you without you having to force it. End your day the same way, with reflection and gratitude. Even the hardest days contain something to give thanks for if you look closely. The conflict you had also contained a chance to grow. The disappointment you felt also contained protection from something worse. The delays you faced also carried timing you did not yet understand. Train your mind to look for the blessing in every situation, not to deny the difficulty, but to recognize my presence in the middle of it. Your gratitude is also a powerful testimony in a world filled with complaining. When you stay thankful in situations where most people would only grumble, you stand out. People notice. They may not say it out loud, but they wonder how you have peace when they would fall apart. They wonder why you still have joy when circumstances say you shouldn't. Your gratitude becomes a form of preaching that speaks louder than arguments or debates. The world is noisy with negativity. Social media often magnifies complaints, jealousy, anger, and fear. Many news stories are built to keep people afraid or outraged. In a world like that, Thanksgiving is like a bright light. When you publicly give me thanks, when you speak about what I have done, when you share testimonies of my goodness, you become a voice of hope in a culture of despair. Let me also address the trap of comparison that steals gratitude from so many hearts. You look at what other people appear to have, their vacations, their houses, their cars, their friendships, their marriages, their platforms, and suddenly, what I have given you feels small. The enemy uses comparison to convince you that you cannot be truly thankful until your life looks like theirs. But comparison is a thief. It steals your joy in this moment and keeps you chasing something that will never satisfy. The people you envy also have pain, struggles, and private battles that you never see. Their social media shows their highlights, not their breakdowns. You're comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to their edited moments. That is not a fair comparison and will never lead to truth. I have placed a unique calling on your life, and I have given you exactly what you need to walk in that calling. Your portion is designed for you. If you could see all that comes with someone else's blessing, you would also see the weight they carry. Blessings and burdens often come as a pair. Be grateful for what I've given you instead of bitter about what you don't have. Your portion is not random. It has been chosen for you by the one who knows you completely and loves you deeply. Now let's talk about the power of spoken thanksgiving. Gratitude kept only in your heart is good, but gratitude spoken out loud carries even more impact. When you open your mouth and say thank you, when you speak about what I have done, when you tell others how grateful you are, something shifts in both the spirit and the natural. Your words carry creative power. What you speak with thanksgiving tends to grow. What you celebrate tends to increase. What you name and acknowledge becomes more solid in your experience. So in this season, let your thanksgiving be heard. Tell people clearly and specifically what you appreciate about them. Don't assume they already know. Say it. Speak your gratitude to your family, your friends, your co-workers, and even to strangers whose work makes your life easier. Your words of thanks become a blessing over them, and at the same time, they strengthen the gratitude inside you. Speak your thanksgiving to me as well. Not because I need praise to feel complete, but because you need to remember who I am in your life. When you thank me in prayer, you are reminding your own heart that I am present, active, and faithful. Prayer is not just asking for things. It should be filled with praise and thanks. Before you present your requests, come with gratitude. Gratitude prepares your heart to receive what you're asking for. Let's talk now about generosity. True gratitude naturally leads to giving. A heart that understands that everything is a gift becomes a hand that is willing to give. When you realize you have more than you deserve and more than you could have created by yourself, it becomes easier to loosen your grip. Thanksgiving leads to giving. Appreciation turns into generosity. During this season, let that generosity flow. Bless those who have blessed you, not to pay them back, but to show appreciation. Bless those who cannot return the favor, not as an investment, but as an overflow of my love inside you. Support causes and people that extend goodness beyond your own life. Give your time, your energy, your attention, your skills, and your resources. Giving completes the Thanksgiving circle. You receive, you appreciate, and then you share. Now I want to address the sadness, depression, or heaviness that many feel during this time, even though it is supposed to be a happy season. Some of my children walk into Thanksgiving with tears more than smiles. Chairs at the table are empty that once were filled. Voices that used to laugh and talk are now silent. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Traditions that once brought comfort now stir pain. If this is you, hear me. Your sadness is not a sign that you lack faith. It is proof that you have loved deeply. You are allowed to grieve what you have lost and still be grateful for what you had. You can miss someone and still thank me that they were in your life at all. You can feel the ache of absence and still praise me for the gift they were when they were present. The ones you miss were gifts from my hand, and your grief is connected to how precious those gifts were. Don't force yourself to fake joy. Let your tears flow if they must. Gratitude and grief can walk together. But even in grief, thanksgiving can become part of your healing. When you thank me for the years you did have with them instead of only focusing on the years you don't, a gentle shift happens inside. When you remember and celebrate the good memories instead of only staring at the pain of what is gone, my peace begins to touch those deep places. Gratitude does not erase grief, but it changes it. Instead of being a prison that keeps you stuck, grief becomes a doorway you can walk through with me. Now let me speak about the days ahead and how Thanksgiving today prepares you for tomorrow. What you thank me for, you make room to receive more of. Gratitude is not only a response to what has already happened, it is also an invitation for what I will do next. When you thank me for provision, you are opening space for future provision. When you thank me for relationships, you are preparing your heart for deeper connection and healing. When you thank me for opportunities, you are getting ready for more open doors. Go into the coming year with thanksgiving already flowing, not waiting for everything to be perfect first. Thank me in advance. Thank me for breakthroughs you have not seen yet. Thank me for doors that have not opened yet. Thank me for healing that has not fully arrived yet. This kind of gratitude is an act of faith. It says, God, I trust your heart even before I see your hand. Faith like this moves things in the spiritual realm. The year ahead holds blessings you cannot currently imagine. It carries provision you haven't even thought to ask for. It includes opportunities you haven't seen coming and restoration in places you thought were permanently broken. Your thanksgiving today is opening doors for tomorrow's answers. The seeds of gratitude you are planting now will produce fruit in the seasons that are coming. I want to speak to you specifically about your health as well. Your body has carried you through another year through stress, through activity, through change. Maybe your body is not where you want it to be. Maybe there is pain, illness, or limitation. But still, your body has kept you here. Thank me for the parts of your body that are working. Thank me for the systems that function while you sleep. Thank me for your immune system that fights battles you never see. Thank me for the healing that has already happened in your life, even if more is still needed. If your health has been difficult, let thanksgiving become part of your fight. Thank me for revealing what needed attention. Thank me for medical help, treatments, and professionals I have placed in your path. Thank me for every small improvement, every encouraging report, every day you wake up still able to fight. Gratitude in the middle of health battles does not deny the reality of pain. It declares that even in pain, I am still good and still at work. Your mental and emotional health matters to me just as much. Your mind has been processing so much decisions, worries, hopes, disappointments. Your emotions have gone up and down through joy and sorrow, excitement and fear. The fact that you are still here, still choosing to hope, still choosing to care, is a victory. If you have battled depression, anxiety, or other mental struggles, I see every step of that battle. Every day you get out of bed is an achievement. Every moment you keep going when it would be easier to give up is a powerful act of courage. Every time you reach out for help instead of hiding in silence, you are showing a strength you often don't recognize in yourself. Thank me for the ability to keep going. Thank me for the moments where a little light breaks through. Thank me for every person, resource, or support that helps you hold on. Now receive this Thanksgiving blessing I am speaking over your life. I am blessing you with eyes that see abundance where you once saw only lack. I am blessing you with a heart that naturally leans toward gratitude instead of complaint. I am blessing you with a mouth that speaks thanksgiving before it speaks negativity. I am blessing your hands so that they become generous, releasing blessings because you know how much you have already received. I am blessing your family with peace so that your gatherings become places of real joy instead of stress-filled obligations. I am blessing your finances with enough to remove the fear that has stolen joy from seasons meant for celebration. I am blessing your physical health with strength and healing that allow you to enjoy the life I have given you. I am blessing your relationships with restoration where there has been division, and with deeper love where there is already connection. I am blessing your future with hope so that you can look ahead without dread. I am redeeming your past, turning regrets into testimonies of my grace. I am blessing your present with awareness so that you notice the blessings in ordinary moments. I am pouring abundance into every area of your life that opens itself in gratitude to me. As this season unfolds, let gratitude become part of who you are, not just something you do. Let it flavor the way you talk. Let it shape the way you see others. Let it guide your responses and influence your decisions. You are not just someone who says thank you once in a while. You are becoming a person whose life is rooted in thanksgiving. Your gratitude will change the atmosphere around you. Your family will feel it. Your community will be touched by it. Your workplace will be different because you are there with a thankful heart. Wherever you go, blessings will follow because blessings are drawn to those who honor me with their gratitude. This is not just motivation or positive thinking. This is a spiritual truth. Gratitude attracts blessing. Thanksgiving multiplies provision. Appreciation opens doors. What you choose to celebrate tends to grow. I have seen the seasons where it felt almost impossible for you to be thankful. I have watched you search for even one thing to praise me for when life felt dark. I have seen you whisper thank you through tears when nothing seemed to be changing. Those moments of faithful thanksgiving, especially in the painful seasons, have not been wasted. They have been filling up a reservoir of blessing that is now ready to overflow. In this season of Thanksgiving, the overflow begins. What you planted in gratitude, you will now begin to reap in abundance. What you sowed in appreciation, you will gather in blessing. What you nurtured in thanksgiving, you will receive as provision. The season of sowing is shifting into a season of reaping. Open your arms. Get ready to receive what gratitude has prepared for you. Share this message with those who need their gratitude stirred again. What I pour into you is never meant to stop with you. You are a channel, not a container. When you pass on what you have received, its impact multiplies, and it also goes deeper into your own life. Finally, let me point you to the greatest reason for Thanksgiving, the one that stands above all others. More than anything else, thank me for salvation. Thank me for Jesus, my Son, who took your place and paid for your sins on the cross. Thank me for the resurrection that broke the power of death and gave you eternal hope. Thank me for my Spirit who lives within you, guiding, comforting, and empowering you every day. Thank me for my grace that covers your failures and my mercy that gives you a fresh start again and again. Every other blessing flows out of this one central gift. Your health will one day fade, but your salvation is eternal. Your relationships, as precious as they are, cannot compare to the relationship you have with me. Your material provision can meet earthly needs, but it can never fill the deepest hunger of your soul. So yes, thank me for what you see with your eyes, but let your greatest gratitude be for what I have done for your soul. Now step into this season of thanksgiving with a renewed heart. Choose to see blessings everywhere. Choose to speak appreciation often. Choose to give generously from the overflow of gratitude I am stirring inside you. Let thanksgiving shape how you walk through every moment, every challenge, and every celebration. You are not the same as when you started reading this. Something in you has awakened. Gratitude has been stirred in your spirit, and it will not go completely silent again. This is your season of thanksgiving, not just because the date on the calendar says so, but because heaven has marked this time as a turning point for you. What begins now will continue into the year ahead. Thanksgiving will no longer be just an event. It will be your lifestyle. I love you with a love that does not depend on your performance and does not go up and down based on how you feel. My love for you is the most stable thing in your life. Thank me for that love. Receive it deeply. Let it become the solid foundation under every other area of gratitude in your heart. You are loved fully, forever, and unconditionally by the God who created galaxies and yet calls you by name. Go forward now with thanksgiving overflowing. Let every breath remind you that you have something to be grateful for. Let every moment become a chance to say thank you. Let every interaction be an opportunity to pass on kindness, appreciation, and love. Live as my grateful child and watch how blessing multiplies in response to your thanksgiving. This is your confirmation. This is me sending you out. I am calling you into a new way of living, a way of gratitude that will change everything it touches in your life. The season of Thanksgiving is not only on the calendar around you, it has begun inside your heart. Welcome it, lean into it, walk in it. But before you step into this new chapter, I want to talk with you more deeply about Thanksgiving in a way many of my children have never really seen. Gratitude is not just thinking positively and putting religious words on top. It is a real spiritual power. It moves and works according to real spiritual laws, just as surely as gravity governs the physical world. When the conditions of Thanksgiving are present, certain kinds of blessing are set in motion. They are not random. When you give thanks from your heart, things begin to shift in realms you cannot see. Angels pay attention. Dark influences lose their grip. Heaven responds. The atmosphere around you is affected by the words you speak. Complaining and thanksgiving do not create the same air. Many times you have been living in air polluted by negativity, frustration, and constant focus on what is missing. You did not always realize that I have already placed in you the power to cleanse that atmosphere through steady gratitude. The enemy understands the power of thanksgiving better than most believers. That is one of the main reasons he keeps trying to drag your attention back to what is broken instead of what is blessed. A complaining believer is a weakened believer. Ingratitude opens doors to his influence. Gratitude closes them. Every moment you spend thanking me is a moment he cannot use to twist your thinking. Every sincere word of thanks is territory he cannot stand on. Even your brain tells the story of Thanksgiving's power. Science is still catching up to what I designed from the beginning. When you practice gratitude often, your brain literally starts creating new patterns. Pathways that used to default to fear, criticism, or hopeless thoughts begin to shift toward appreciation and hope. Chemicals are released that lift your mood, support your immune system, and improve your overall well-being. I made your body to thrive in an environment of thankfulness. When you give thanks, you are cooperating with how I built you. This is not just a self-help idea. It is alignment with your original design. Your body, your mind, and your spirit work best when Thanksgiving is present. Depression is complex and goes deeper than brain chemistry alone, but ungrateful thinking creates conditions that make depression heavier and harder. Grateful thinking opens space for joy and resilience. You have more influence over the climate of your inner world through Thanksgiving than you have ever known. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing Super Thanks from $50 to $100. Now let me talk about specific parts of your life where you need to start practicing focused gratitude. Begin with your work, whatever form it takes. Your job, your business, your studies, your caregiving, your daily tasks, all of it. You may have seen your work more as a burden than a blessing, but Thanksgiving can begin to shift that. Thank me for the income it brings, even if it feels too small. Thank me for the skills I have given you that allow you to do that work at all. Thank me for the people you work with, those who encourage you and even those who stretch you. Thank me for the chance to show my character in the place where you spend so much of your time. If you are unemployed or underemployed, gratitude still carries power in your situation. Thank me that this season is not permanent. Thank me for the strength and patience that are being built in you through the struggle. Thank me for the time you have right now that you would not have if you were working full-time. Thank me ahead of time for the position, opportunity, or open door. I am preparing something better than what you have known before. Your thanksgiving in times of shortage is especially powerful because it is offered from faith, not comfort. Now let me address your finances with specific gratitude. The bills you face mean that you received services and support that made your life easier or safer. The debts you carry came from choices, needs, and moments where something was supplied to you. Even the pressure you feel shows that you are part of a system where goods, power, and resources are available that you could not create on your own. There are hidden blessings even in financial stress. Thank me for the roof over your head, whether it's owned, rented, or borrowed. Thank me for the electricity, water, heat, cooling, and connection that allow you to function and enjoy daily life. Thank me for whatever transport you use, car, bus, bike, train, your own feet that moves you where you need to go. Thank me for the food in your kitchen, however simple. Thank me for the clothes that cover and protect you. So many of these things are easy to overlook, but billions of people long for what you call basic. What you see as your starting point is someone else's miracle. Now hear this. Thanksgiving is opening something specific in your finances. Abundance flows along spiritual principles that include gratitude as a key ingredient. Those who regularly thank me for what they already have are positioning themselves to receive more of what they need. Gratitude makes you ready and available for provision. It pulls your attention away from fear and toward faith. When you face your finances with thanksgiving instead of constant complaint, you step into the system I designed for increase. This does not mean Thanksgiving is some magic trick that instantly makes you rich. It means that gratitude is a heart posture that clears away many of the inner blockages between you and what I desire to provide. Complaining stacks bricks between you and blessing. Gratitude takes those bricks down. There are resources that have been trying to reach you, but your negativity has been pushing them away. Thanksgiving reopens channels that grumbling closed. Now let me speak about your physical body and the role Thanksgiving can play in your healing journey. Your body is fighting for you every day in ways you do not see. Your immune system has been defeating threats you never knew about. Your cells have been repairing damage you could not feel. Even right now, as you listen to these words, countless processes are at work inside you so that you can breathe, think, move, and live. This is not just nature. This is my ongoing care for you, built into your very design. If sickness, pain, or limitation is present in your body, Thanksgiving becomes a powerful tool in your fight. I am not asking you to thank me for the sickness. I am inviting you to thank me in the middle of it. Thank me for the parts of your body that are still working. Thank me for any treatment, medication, or support that exists, even if it is far from perfect. Thank me for each day you wake up with another chance to trust, to love, to hope. Thank me for what you still have, instead of only focusing on what has been taken. There is a kind of healing power in gratitude that no scientific test can fully measure, but many stories have proven it again and again. When people begin to cultivate a thankful heart, something in their body often begins to respond. Systems that were shutting down start to steady. Conditions that were getting worse begin to slow or shift. This is not superstition. This is where spiritual truth and physical reality meet, exactly as I intended. Your Thanksgiving joins with my healing work in ways your mind cannot fully map out. Now let's look at your relationships, the people in your life, and the power of gratitude there. Every person connected to you, whether they feel like a gift or a heavy weight, is an opportunity to practice Thanksgiving. Even people who have hurt you deeply ended up teaching you something, even if the lesson was simply, I never want to treat others that way. People who disappointed you over and over have shown you patterns in human nature that can guard you from even greater harm later. This does not mean you should be grateful for abuse or pretend that betrayal and mistreatment were good, but you can thank me for the strength that grew in you through survival. You can thank me for the clarity you have now, the wisdom you gained, the boundaries you learned to set. Your thanksgiving is not for the wound, it is for what I helped forge in you as you walked through the fire. Gold does not thank the flames for burning it, but it can shine brighter because of the refining. For the relationships that truly bless you, let your gratitude be clear and specific. Tell your spouse or partner what you appreciate about who they are and what they do in detail, so they know you really see them. Tell your children or your parents what you treasure about their character, their kindness, their growth, their sacrifices. Tell your friends how their presence helps you, encourages you, and makes your life richer. When you speak thanksgiving into relationships, it acts like glue. It strengthens bonds and deepens trust. Now let's talk about your spiritual life and how thanksgiving speeds up your growth. Thank me for your salvation with fresh amazement, as if you only just now understood how much it cost and how much it gives you. Thank me for my word that guides you when you feel lost, corrects you when you wander, comforts you when you ache, and challenges you when you settle. Thank me for my Spirit who lives in you, always present, always helping, always whispering truth. Thank me for prayer, where your human voice reaches my eternal heart. Thank me for my church, yes, even with its flaws, as a place of family and support. Your spiritual life gains momentum when gratitude becomes the fuel, not the chore. There's a big difference between devotion that comes from love and devotion that comes from pressure. When you come to me because your heart is overflowing with thanks, instead of dragging yourself out of obligation, everything changes. Your words carry a different warmth. Your listening becomes more open. Your obedience flows from trust instead of fear. Gratitude turns spiritual duty into a gift you want to bring. But I also want you to be aware of the things that constantly try to steal thanksgiving from you. The first one is familiarity. When blessings show up every day, they can become invisible. You stop seeing what has always been there. The air, the sunrise, the ground beneath your feet, the beating of your heart. Gifts that seem normal are quietly overlooked. The problem with familiarity is not that you hate your blessings, it's that you stop noticing them. Fight this by slowing down and paying attention on purpose. Choose moments in your day to really look at what you usually rush past. See the people you live and work with as if you were seeing them for the first time. Think about what your life would feel like if certain things were suddenly gone, and let that thought wake up fresh gratitude. Familiarity can only steal the thanks you do not guard. The second enemy is comparison. You know this one, but you may not have realized how strongly it attacks your gratitude. Comparison whispers that what you have is not enough because someone else appears to have more, better, newer, or bigger. It points at their success and by contrast declares you a failure. It keeps moving the bar of enough so you never arrive. Fight comparison by choosing perspective. When you are tempted to stare at those who seem ahead of you, deliberately look at those who have less. Not to feel superior, but to remember that your life includes real abundance you have stopped appreciating. Someone you call poor might call your life unbelievable blessing. Someone you think is barely making it would trade places with you instantly. Comparison can go either upward or downward. Choose the direction that produces gratitude, not resentment. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. The third enemy is entitlement. This voice tells you, you deserve everything you have. You earned it. You were owed it. When you believe that every good thing in your life is simply a payment you were due, there is no reason to say thank you. Entitlement turns gifts into rights and kindness into expected. It paints me not as a generous father, but as a manager who just fulfills your contract. In that atmosphere, gratitude cannot grow. Fight entitlement by being honest with yourself. You did not earn your next breath. You did not choose your family of origin or the opportunities that opened doors for you along the way. You did not control every event that shaped your path. Again and again, grace has been woven into your story. People who helped, situations that rescued you, chances you did not deserve. When you see how much in your life is unearned kindness, gratitude begins to rise naturally. The fourth enemy is disappointment. This one points at prayers you think I ignored, at dreams you feel I never fulfilled, at hopes that seem to have died. It uses these to argue that you have no reason to be thankful until everything you want shows up the way you want it. It tries to chain your gratitude to conditions. I'll thank God when. Fight disappointment by choosing trust, even when you do not understand. Some prayers I did not answer the way you wanted, because the outcome would have harmed you more than helped you. Some dreams did not unfold because they would have taken you away from what truly matters. Some doors stayed shut because what was behind them could not have carried the weight of your soul. Thank me not only for what I have given, but also for what I have lovingly withheld. My no and my not yet can be as protective as my yes. The fifth enemy is busyness. When your life is always rushed, gratitude is squeezed out. You move from task to task, appointment to appointment, scrolling, answering, running, without pausing long enough to notice what is good. Thanksgiving needs a little bit of stillness, and busyness fights stillness. Fight busyness by building in small pauses on purpose. They do not need to be long. Use your commute, your walk from one room to another, the minutes in a waiting room, or the time before you sleep as small altars of gratitude. Let transitions become reminders. Ask yourself, what can I thank God for right now? Busyness steals gratitude by stealing the time to see. Take back some of that time, and Thanksgiving will return. Now let's talk about what happens when Thanksgiving becomes your way of life, not an occasional moment. One thank you makes a difference, but daily gratitude over weeks, months, and years creates a multiplying effect. It is like saving a little bit each day and then watching interest grow on top of interest. Each day of Thanksgiving builds on the foundation of yesterday's thanks. This multiplying effect touches many areas at once. Your perspective changes as your mind learns to spot blessings automatically. Your relationships deepen as consistent appreciation builds trust and closeness. Your provision increases as gratitude keeps your heart open and ready to recognize and receive opportunities and help. Your joy rises because you are constantly feeding it with simple, real reasons to give thanks. Every thank you speak becomes another brick in a strong, joyful life. Your thanksgiving also shapes what you leave to those who come after you. Children, grandchildren, and others who look up to you are watching how you respond to both good times and hard times. They are learning from you whether complaint or gratitude is the normal reaction to life. The habits you build become patterns they will copy even without realizing it. Break any chain of generational complaining by starting new patterns of thanksgiving. Let your children and loved ones actually hear you say, I'm thankful for. Let them see you pause during the day to notice and name your blessings. Let them see that your first response when something happens is to look for God's hand, not just to complain. What you model in this area will echo in their lives for decades. Now imagine your workplace and how your Thanksgiving can affect it. Many work environments are filled with complaining about bosses, co-workers, schedules, rules, pay, customers. This becomes the background noise in the room. In that kind of space, a thankful heart stands out like a light in a dark hallway. When you thank me for your job while others constantly tear theirs down, people notice. When you speak about opportunities inside situations others curse, curiosity grows. When you manage to be grateful, even in challenges, while everyone else is grumbling, people will begin to wonder what is different about you. Your Thanksgiving becomes quiet evangelism. It opens doors for conversations about hope, joy, and me. Gratitude also has a wider community impact. People who are truly grateful tend to become more generous. And generous people change neighborhoods, churches, and cities. When you let Thanksgiving move you to give, to share, to support, the resources you release help ministries, charities, families in crisis, and people in need. Your gratitude does not stop with you. It flows outward like a river. Think of how your Thanksgiving may be part of something much bigger I am doing in your community. Gratitude opens your eyes not only to your own blessings, but also to the needs around you and the opportunities to help. When Thanksgiving changes how you see, it also changes how you act. Now I want to talk about what this present season of Thanksgiving means for your personal journey. This is not just another holiday. For you, this is a turning point. Something is shifting inside you that will not go back to the way it was. A door is opening into a new way of seeing and living, and that door will stay open. The gratitude being stirred up in you now is not just a feeling tied to a date. It is becoming part of who you are. I have been preparing you for this for a long time. The joyful moments and the painful ones have both been working together to position you for this awakening of thanksgiving. Things that seemed random were not random. Events that felt like accidents were part of a larger, loving plan. Pieces of your story that did not make sense are forming a picture you can only see from where you stand now. You are stepping into a time of blessing that will need strong gratitude to be handled well. If thanksgiving were not being formed in you now, some of the blessings I am bringing could actually weigh you down instead of lifting you up. When provision is received with entitlement, it often leads to pride, selfishness, and empty chasing. When provision is received with gratitude, it produces humility, sharing, and life. I've been training your heart so that what is coming will bear good fruit and not rot in your hands. Now let me speak about some of the blessings being released in this season. In your finances, doors that have been stuck shut for a long time are beginning to move. New opportunities, creative ideas, and unexpected help are being placed along your path. Resources that were on hold are being released at the right time for my purposes in your life. Not because you are perfect or because you have earned it, but because my timing and your preparation are now aligning. Receive what comes with a thankful heart that remembers where it came from. In your relationships, healing is gaining speed. Hearts that were hardening are starting to soften. Conversations that felt impossible will begin to open. Ties that seemed permanently strained can start to mend. Some of this will happen around simple gatherings, shared meals, or quiet moments you do not expect to be significant. Go into these times with gratitude already active in your heart, not with rehearsed grudges. In your body, many will notice a turning point. Strength will begin to rise where weakness has lived. Systems that have been out of balance will begin to stabilize. Health that has been slowly fading will, in some cases, begin to improve. I am not saying that every illness will vanish overnight or that no one will still face difficulty, but I am marking this season as a time when many will see real change and improvement. Receive even small steps of healing with thanksgiving. Celebrate what is changing instead of only staring at what is not yet fixed. In your spirit, deeper breakthrough is available. Confusion about your calling and purpose will begin to clear. The sense of distance from me will begin to shrink as you draw near with thanks. Places in your heart that felt cold or numb will start to warm again. The breakthrough you have tried to chase will find you as you position yourself in deliberate gratitude. Now I want you to start declaring new words over your life, words shaped by thanksgiving. Speak them out loud. Let them retrain your heart and your mind. Say, I am grateful for every breath I take, knowing each one is a gift from my Father. Say, I am thankful for my life, understanding that every heartbeat comes from grace, not from my own strength. Say, I appreciate every bit of provision I receive, knowing that behind every supply there is a loving hand arranging details. Say, I am thankful for the people in my life, trusting that each connection carries purpose, even when I do not fully see it yet. Declare, Thanksgiving is my new normal. I choose gratitude before I understand the why of my challenge. I choose appreciation before I see how things turn out. I choose to give thanks even when I do not have all the evidence that others would require. My gratitude is not anchored to my circumstances. It is anchored to who my God is, and He does not change. Break agreement with complaint. Say, I refuse to let complaining rule my thoughts and words. I let go of negativity that has shaped my speech. I turn away from ingratitude that has colored my outlook. I align myself with thanksgiving as my basic way of living. I will speak life. I will bless. I will give thanks. Now start keeping a written record of gratitude. Begin a simple journal on paper, on your phone, wherever you can return to it. Write down specific things you are thankful for each day. Writing your gratitude does what spoken thanks alone cannot do. First, it forces you to be specific. Vague gratitude leads to vague change. When you have to write down actual details, you start truly seeing the many gifts in your day. The act of writing trains your eyes to search for blessing, not just for problems. Second, writing creates a record. Spoken words fade, but written words remain. When you walk through future seasons of difficulty, your own journal will stand as evidence that I have been good to you many times before. When the lie comes, nothing good ever happens for you, your written history will say, that is not true. Third, writing builds over time. A gratitude journal that you keep for months and years becomes powerful. At first, you may struggle to find even a few things to write each day. Later, your challenge will be choosing from the many blessings you see. The journal itself becomes living proof of how Thanksgiving has transformed your vision. You are also being sent out as a carrier of this message. What I am doing in you is not just for you. I am training you to speak hope into lives drowning in complaint and negativity, the same way you once felt. When you meet someone who is stuck in constant criticism and despair, you will have a different way to offer. When you see someone whose heart is sick with ingratitude, you will know how to gently pour in truth. When you see the damage that negative thinking is causing, your own story of gratitude will stand as a living alternative. Tell others how Thanksgiving has changed your inner world, your mood, your relationships, your sense of purpose. Share the small practical differences, not only the big miracles. Let your story be an invitation. People will begin to want what you carry when they see what gratitude has done in you. Now receive the blessing I am speaking over you as this message draws to a close. I am blessing your eyes so that they see abundance where they once saw only lack. I am blessing your ears so that they pick up reasons for gratitude even in hard situations. I am blessing your tongue to speak thanks before complaints have time to rise. I am blessing your heart so that it overflows with appreciation that circumstances cannot shut off. I am blessing your mornings with the awareness that each new day is a gift, not a burden. I am blessing your nights with the habit of looking back and noticing the good in your day before you fall asleep. I am blessing your meals with the understanding that every bite is a sign of my care. I am blessing your relationships with gratitude that makes them stronger instead of weaker. I am blessing your work so that gratitude turns obligation into opportunity. I am blessing your rest so that you receive it as grace, not as something you are owed. I am blessing your finances with appreciation that opens your heart to wise decisions and new provision. I am blessing your health with thankfulness that joins in the work of your healing and continued well-being. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. I am blessing your children or future children with the legacy of Thanksgiving they will inherit from you. I am blessing your marriage or future marriage with appreciation that guards and deepens your bond. I am blessing your extended family with the healing that begins when Thanksgiving enters old, painful patterns. I am blessing your friendships with gratitude that creates safety, depth, and real honesty. I am blessing your ministry, whatever form it takes, with thanksgiving that keeps you from burning out and helps your service remain joyful. I am blessing your witness with the authenticity that true gratitude carries in a world exhausted by complaining. I am blessing your future with the forward push that Thanksgiving produces, carrying you into good things you cannot yet imagine. Know also that angels have been assigned to help you in this awakening of gratitude. They do more than guard your safety. In this season, many are specifically sent to stir your awareness, to bring to mind reasons to give thanks when you are tempted to sink back into old habits. They help reinforce new patterns when negativity tries to reclaim ground in your heart. Their help is not random. It is carefully fitted to your needs, your personality, and your journey. You are not walking into this new lifestyle of Thanksgiving alone. Heaven is deeply invested in what gratitude will release in you and through you into the world. There are also prayers prayed over your life that are being answered in this season. People who care about you have brought your name before me. Maybe you know about it. Maybe you never will in this life. They have prayed for your breakthrough, your growth, your freedom, your joy. Their prayers have not been ignored. This very shift toward gratitude is part of my answer. As you learn to walk in thanksgiving, you are stepping into what they asked me to do in you long ago. Every time you choose gratitude, you are also honoring those hidden intercessors. Your thanksgiving becomes proof that their prayers mattered and that I listened. Finally, understand the eternal weight of what you are learning. What happens in your heart now does not end here. Gratitude is not just for this lifetime. Every act of thanksgiving is like a seed that will show up again in eternity. Each moment you choose to thank me is a small act of worship that will be remembered. Each expression of appreciation is a statement of faith that will be celebrated. Each acknowledgement of my goodness writes another line in the story of our relationship that will last forever. I am giving this season of Thanksgiving in your life a meaning that stretches far beyond one holiday or 1 month. What begins now can continue all the days I give you. The gratitude I am awakening in you will become a steady light through every season you face. Thanksgiving will not just be something you practice occasionally. It will become part of your identity. This is your transformation. This is your sending. This is your invitation into a life of gratitude that will change everything it touches. The season of Thanksgiving has arrived, not just around you, but within you. Embrace it, live in it, share it. From this moment forward, things begin to shift because gratitude is becoming the lens through which you see your world. Keep these words close. Come back to them when the enemy tries to drag you back into complaining and forgetfulness. Pass on these truths to anyone whose gratitude needs a spark. Let this season of Thanksgiving be the start of a change that never stops growing. The same voice that called creation out of nothing is speaking thanksgiving into your spirit. The same God who makes all things new is renewing your outlook through the gift of a thankful spirit. I am your Father, and I love you. You are my beloved child. Our connection is forever. Our bond cannot be broken. Our future together is full of glory. Give thanks in every situation because this is my will for you. I bless you in this season of Thanksgiving, my dearly loved one. Amen.